You touched on it last press conference about you want to get to the point, playing your best at the end, going to the NCAA tournament, but this is kind of the tournament. So you approaching it to put a topping on this season positive or another start to next year or just
A lot of different ways, honestly. I'm approaching it number one, like we have a bunch of players who, again, this is a first. So we have a first of, we're so many firsts this year, and this is the first time that they are going to be either at the tournament or active participants in the tournament. And there's a process to doing that and a certain mindset you have to have, especially when you start your week on Wednesday, right? And so I'm approaching it that way first. They don't know what they don't know. And then after that, yes, we want to play at our best. We want to come out and we're fortunate, if you look at it that way, to play at 11 o'clock on Sunday. We're going to play at 11 o'clock on Wednesday. So, how do we mentally make sure we're prepared and have the right mindset to play an early game and go out there and this is the last time we're going to touch a ball in a competitive way against another opponent this season. So how do you want to finish?
Do you have any specific goals for this week?
To finish at our best. I think number one is to continue to run our offense, play better defensively, be locked in, have everybody chip in. You look at when we made our run in the third quarter against Arkansas, we got production from a lot of different people. When we played here at home, we had a production from a lot of different people, and that's what it's going to take. And so just getting them to understand the consistency that comes with showing up every time you step on the floor.
You use that first game, I guess, a motivating factor. I know you want to win in general, but just like, let's make sure we don't just come here, play a game, and then get back up. Let's make sure we can actually make this a memorable experience and soak it in a little bit.
Well, I told our team I'm packing until Sunday. I don't know what you're doing, but I'm packing until Sunday. My intention is to not play a game and go get on the plane and come home. I want to be there. I'm not used to playing on Wednesday. That's not anything I want anybody here to get used to. And so there's a certain mindset you have to have. And so that conversation happened last week as we were talking about, hey, we've got 3 games this week and then we get back Sunday and we leave on Monday. So start washing now, start packing now, and you're going to need more than your duffel bag for this trip. So it's just, again, training them on what the approach needs to be.
Harbison might have had one of the best perimeter games against you.
Yeah, really
so
well.
I guess the good thing is you know what you're to expect. So how do you make that a different ending this time?
She's one of those players, sees that when she gets going, the rim looks like an ocean. And we told our team that, and she got going. And so we've got to make it tough for her to catch it. I tell our players all the time, if they can't catch it, they can't score it. So we've got to do a really good job of just making everything tough for her. And then there's got to be a cutoff point for her, meaning like she's bigger than our guards, most of our guards that are guarding her. And when she gets to a certain point, even if we're in front of them, she can just raise up and elevate over them. So, we'll look at putting a bunch of different people at her just to try to throw her off, but we've got to not let her get to her sweet spot.
The flip side of it is you guys shot 52%. You played well offensively, inside and outside scoring. So you always say, take things away. What do you expect Vanderbilt maybe do different to slow you guys down? Because you did have a good offense.
Yeah, I think that they'll probably press us. They pressed us last time. I think they'll press us a little bit more, and they do a really good job of going man and zone and disguising that. Sometimes they're man, sometimes they're zone, and sometimes I think they're both in the same possession. So I think they just continue to throw different things at you to try to get you off kilter. I would fully expect them to double down on the paint and to try to clog the paint and take away, obviously, our inside game.
Joni was named SEC Freshman of the Week today. How happy are you for her? And just talk about how the season she's had so far.
You look at her season, and is it what she thought it was going to be with her injury? No, absolutely not. But she's a young lady who never complains. She shows up every day wanting to know what she can do to make herself better, to help the team. And so for her to just be recognized for what she's doing is incredible. I think it speaks to her, but it also speaks to just our team and how happy they are, for her and the success that, she's having. So just extremely proud of her. She's matured a lot in the time that I've known her from 7th grade until now. And I'm just enjoying watching that process for her. She's obviously a very special young lady on the floor, but the person she is even more special.
What do you think she's been able to gain out of these games since she's been back on the court that, maybe if the injury had developed to where she wouldn't have that opportunity, some areas she's been able to improve?
I think she listens better because when you have to sit and watch, you see things differently. You know, I've been injured before. When you're injured and have to watch it, you kind of see things from a different perspective. And so I think her eyes were definitely open watching her teammates, watching practice, seeing some of the things that we do. And she's like, oh, do I do that too? Yeah, you sure do. You know, and so I think she had a different approach and a different mindset coming back that she would not have had. I think she, you know, this is her first time she's been really, really hurt and had to sit out for this stretch. And I think anytime you have something like that happen, you just come back with a hunger and more love, you know, for the game too. I've said this before, but I also think it gave our team a chance to grow up and her too. I think when she first came in early November and December, I think she felt like she had to put the team on her back. And that's not who we are. That's not who we're ever going to be. And I think our team grew up without her as well. And so now it's a lot of fun watching, you know, both of those dynamics in play.
You obviously have a lot of SEC tournament experience. Was there anything specific headed into this week that you have stressed to your players?
You have to look at what's in front of you, right? Knowing that this will hopefully more days ahead, but be where your feet are. What's in front of you is you can't worry about the next thing until you take care of this. So it doesn't matter who else is behind you in a bracket, who else is playing. We've got one game, and that's Vandy. Because if we don't take care of that, you don't take care of anything else. And so it's just having that mindset of being present and focused on what's right in front of you and nothing else.
How much for these tournaments do you, as a coaching staff, base your reports off, you know, film and what you see in kind of your normal prep, and just actually being there at the games and just seeing how they're playing that week and just kind of doing, you know, the eye test?
We do both. I mean, obviously, we have a ton of film. We've played everybody once, some teams twice, and you know, so we do both. We're going to come in ready, prepared, full scouting report, film like we always do, and then we're going to, obviously not in the case of Vanderbilt, but if we advance to Thursday, we're going to be prepared for that game as well, and then we're going to go live when we have the opportunity to and scout and watch as well, because things change. People are injured. People are starting to play better. Freshmen are getting better. Some people suffered injuries and now their team looks different. So it's ever evolving and changing, but we do both.
A lot of ups and downs this regular season. What does it say about your team that they've been able to kind of keep a positive outlook no matter what?
I trust. I think there's a lot of trust between this team and our program. We're very honest, and we were very honest when we started out that this is kind of what we expected for this year to be. And we're also honest about when we do well and when we fall short and what the expectation is. And so I think that there wasn't sticker shock. I think the biggest sticker shock was when everybody got hurt, right? But there wasn't sticker shock in terms of what this was going to look like. And so it allowed us to have an approach to it that's different if they were expecting something different. And that's unfair for us if we don't prepare them for what we think it's going to be. We're going to always do that as a staff. That's part of, having an expectation and having an understanding of where we are and having some self-awareness, which a lot of young people struggle with. And so we try to make sure that they have an understanding of where we are so then we can prep them and prepare them.
Sweet. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thanks, Joni. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.